Hey, welcome to the Citrus County Chronicle, where this election season we're sitting down with all the candidates that you're going to see on the primary ballot, giving them an opportunity to share a little bit about their vision, their message, that sort of thing. One of those races you're going to see on the ballot is the sheriff's race, and I have Sheriff candidate David Vincent with us here today. Thank you for coming down.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, David, you are in the sheriff's race. Race will be decided in the primary.
It will, August 20th.
August 20th, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you, your candidacy, and why folks should kind of find you be their candidate.
Well, I think, for me, I go back to my career here in Citrus County. I started in 1993 here under Sheriff Charles Dean as a 911 operator, and I've kind of worked my way through the ranks within our sheriff's office. And I think that when we talk about the candidate for this sheriff and to be your next sheriff is experience, local experience matters. I've done most every job throughout our sheriff's office from 911 operator to I retired as a captain in 2020. And I did retire to take a job at the school district as a chief of police. So I'm currently the chief of police at the Citrus County School District. I think my experience at the sheriff's office spans over supervision, helping manage the budget, helping prepare the budget, which I think is on a lot of people's mind right now, and how we're spending your tax dollars. So I think that my experience there helps that situation. Also being a fiscal conservative, I think that's important in spending tax dollars wisely. So getting to this journey for me, 31. I just passed my 31st year here in Citrus County in law enforcement. My education background, I have a bachelor's degree from Florida Gulf Coast University in criminal justice. I am a graduate of the FBI National Academy and also a graduate of the Southern Police Institute Administrative Officers course out of the University of Louisville in Kentucky. So when we talk about law enforcement experience and education, I think that it's important for folks to know that my background is pretty diverse, and more importantly, all 31 years here in Citrus County. So I think that matters.
So I have a question for you. You mentioned budget, right? So you talked about the budget, and there's been certainly a lot of conversation publicly about the sheriff's budget, the current process this year, but certainly previous years as well. What would differentiate you and your budgetary process kind of compared to what you've seen happening right now or historically, right? So how would your budget process look different, or would it look different? I mean, what could the citizens expect from a budgetary process if you were the sheriff?
Yeah, I think when we talk about our budget, over this past year of being out talking to citizens, there's not a lot of secrets. I can tell you from being a division commander at our sheriff's office and preparing different divisions' budgets, we prepare budgets of where we expect to expend those funds throughout the year. What I think is more important for taxpayers is at the end of the year, was that an accurate representation of how we spent our money? And I think that's the one big element missing right now is that end of the year recap. And did we spend money where we said we were going to spend money? And I think that's the biggest question out there right now that we could answer very simply at the end of the year with a recap of our budget that says, hey, maybe we had to move some monies from one area to another, but what was the reason behind that? I think as long as we communicate with our community and why we do those things, I think people just want that communication. And I'd like to see moving forward, if I'm elected to be your sheriff, is at the end of our fiscal year, is that you have a good recap. Did we spend our money appropriately and on the things that we said we were going to spend them on?
Very good. I have one last question for you, and it's one that just, if you spend any time in our community, everybody's talking about the growth happening within our community. And certainly over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a significant amount of growth in our community, and certainly we see that that's going to continue moving forward. At the Sheriff's Department, what should they be doing now? What would you see them doing in the future to be ready and prepared for that growth?
Yeah, I think when we talk about growth in general, when it comes to safety and security, obviously government's number one role is the safety and security of their citizens. So our sheriff's office has to grow with the growth. And I don't think that there's anyone that argues that. I think there's some debate now about how much that growth what that growth looks like right now as far as the necessity for our deputies on the road. But I can tell you that for many years, we've known that we've needed to grow. So there's all the county commissioners have been very gracious in allowing the increases that our sheriff has asked for. I know there's a very large increase now. I'm not sure that we need 130 new positions in 1 year. I think it's almost impossible to actually fill that. So I think moving forward is being able to sit down and have those conversations about county commissioners, here's where we need to be, what's the plan we can make working together and accomplish that. So having those staffing needs done every year by all of our divisions is important. But more importantly than that is whoever's in charge, the sheriff, needs to listen to those people and move forward.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So again, this is David Vincent, who is one of the sheriff's candidate for Citrus County Sheriff that you're going to see on your November ballot. And let's talk about the November primary for just a second, because this is important. I mean, your race and many others will be decided in the primary.
Yeah, in the August primary, it's most local races. I think there might be only 2 that we think will move forward to November. So that's we're pushing that message quite a bit.
Absolutely. So showing up is important. So right now, you requested a vote by mail ballot. It's probably showing up on your doorstep as we speak, right? And then we'll remind you of some early vote dates. That's August the 9th through August the 17th. That's every day during that period. And then, of course, we've got Election Day on August the 20th, and that's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so I'd encourage you to continue to stay informed, continue to get out there and learn about those candidates that you're going to find on the ballot and participate in the primary. David, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
John, I appreciate it. Thank you.